Most people remember Robin Williams as a force of nature, someone who seemed to arrive fully formed as a comedian capable of turning any moment into chaos and laughter. But long before fame, the foundation of that rhythm was already being built in quiet, ordinary moments, shaped by family dynamics and personality. Humor was not simply a career path for him, it became a way of understanding people and navigating social spaces. Growing up, he learned that quick wit could bridge distance and turn awkwardness into connection. Conversations moved fast, and playful improvisation became second nature, giving him the ability to react instantly rather than rely on prepared lines. Over time, this instinct evolved into a kind of emotional radar, allowing him to read rooms with unusual precision. What audiences later saw as spontaneity was actually years of developing a survival skill rooted in curiosity and observation. He wasn't trying to dominate a conversation, he was chasing energy, responding to shifts in mood, and transforming them into humor before anyone else noticed they were there. That early foundation explains why his comedy always felt alive rather than rehearsed. Even when delivering structured material, he sounded as though he was discovering it in real time. This combination of intelligence, sensitivity, and restless creativity created the early spark that would eventually ignite one of the most distinctive comedic voices in entertainment history. As Robin Williams began performing publicly, the speed of his mind became impossible to ignore. While many comedians relied on careful pacing and deliberate setups, he seemed to leap directly into the middle of an idea and build it as he spoke. His thought process moved so quickly that audiences often felt slightly behind, laughing not only at the joke itself, but at the surprise of how suddenly it appeared. This rapid improvisational style wasn't chaos for the sake of chaos. It was structured spontaneity, built on deep awareness of language, timing, and human behavior. He could jump from one character to another, shift accents, and layer observations within seconds, creating the illusion of endless creativity unfolding in real time. What made it unique was how natural it felt. There was no visible effort, no pause to calculate the next move. This gave audiences the sense that they were witnessing something unfiltered and authentic. Even fellow performers described watching him as both inspiring and intimidating because he operated on a level that seemed impossible to predict. Yet beneath that speed was discipline and years of practice, refining instincts into art. His comedy became less about delivering punchlines and more about capturing momentum, allowing thoughts to flow freely until they formed something unexpected. That unstoppable mental pace became a defining signature, setting him apart from almost everyone around him and creating a kind of anticipation that kept audiences completely engaged. Interviews became one of the clearest examples of Robin Williams' unpredictable brilliance. Most public figures approach interviews cautiously, measuring words carefully to protect their image. Robin did the opposite. He treated interviews as performances, shaped by the moment, rather than scripted conversations. Questions that might have led to simple answers transformed into sprawling comedic journeys filled with impressions, playful exaggerations, and spontaneous detours. Hosts often struggled to keep up, not because he ignored them, but because he constantly elevated the energy in ways no one could anticipate. This unpredictability created an atmosphere where anything felt possible, turning even routine promotional appearances into unforgettable events. What made these moments compelling was the authenticity behind them. His humor didn't feel like a defense mechanism or an act designed to avoid vulnerability. Instead, it felt like genuine curiosity combined with a relentless desire to entertain. Audiences sensed that he was thinking out loud, allowing ideas to collide naturally rather than filtering them through caution. That willingness to embrace unpredictability made him stand out in a media environment often dominated by polished and repetitive responses. Every interview felt like a new experiment, and viewers tuned in not just to hear answers, but to witness the creative process unfolding in real time. It was a reminder that for Robin, conversation itself was a stage where comedy could appear without warning. One of the most remarkable aspects of Robin Williams' career was his ability to transform potentially uncomfortable or awkward moments into opportunities for connection. Questions that might have embarrassed others became launching points for humor that disarmed tension and invited audiences to laugh together rather than at anyone's expense. He had an instinct for identifying the emotional undercurrent of a situation and redirecting it towards something lighter without losing sincerity. This skill revealed a deeper lighter beneath the jokes. He understood that comedy could diffuse fear and uncertainty, creating shared experiences where discomfort became relatable rather than isolating. Instead of avoiding risky topics entirely, he approached them with intelligence and playfulness, framing them in ways that encouraged reflection while still entertaining. His confidence allowed him to explore boundaries without seeming cruel or calculated. The result was comedy that felt fearless yet human, balancing boldness with empathy. Viewers were drawn not only to the humor, but to the sense that he was navigating complexity in real time. By leaning into uncertainty instead of avoiding it, he turned vulnerability into strength. This approach helped define his public identity, proving that improvisation wasn't just about quick thinking, but about emotional courage. Every unexpected moment became another chance to reveal how deeply he understood people and how skillfully he could bring them together through laughter. Behind the relentless energy and humor, Robin Williams often spoke openly about personal struggles that shaped his perspective on life and comedy. Rather than hiding difficult experiences, he incorporated them into his storytelling with honesty and warmth, allowing audiences to see a fuller picture of who he was. This willingness to acknowledge hardship created a sense of authenticity that resonated deeply with fans. He used humor not to erase pain, but to reframe it, turning heavy subjects into conversations that felt approachable. The balance between vulnerability and laughter became one of his defining strengths. Audiences sensed that his comedy came from real experiences rather than detached observation, which made even his most absurd moments feel grounded in truth. Recovery, self-reflection, and personal growth appeared as recurring themes in his work, often woven seamlessly into jokes that encouraged empathy rather than judgment. This openness helped people relate to him on a human level, seeing beyond the rapid-fire performer to someone navigating the same complexities everyone faces. It also added emotional depth to his performances, giving them weight beyond simple entertainment. The laughter he generated often carried an undercurrent of understanding, reminding viewers that humor and struggle can coexist. In doing so, he created a legacy that extended beyond comedy, offering comfort and connection through honesty. Live performances and public appearances demonstrated just how impossible Robin Williams was to contain once he gained momentum. Scripts and planned structures often became secondary the moment he stepped on stage, as he instinctively followed the energy of the room instead of sticking rigidly to expectations. This unpredictability gave his performances a sense of immediacy that audiences found thrilling. No two appearances felt the same because he treated each moment as unique, responding to reactions, sounds, and emotions unfolding around him. Fellow performers and organizers often found themselves adapting to his pace rather than guiding it, recognizing that trying to control him would only limit the magic audiences came to see. His improvisational confidence allowed him to take risks that others avoided, turning ordinary events into memorable experiences filled with surprise and spontaneity. Yet, despite the apparent chaos, there was always a sense of intention beneath the surface. He understood rhythm, escalation, and timing at an intuitive level, ensuring that even the wildest tangents eventually looped back into something meaningful. This ability to balance unpredictability with structure made his performances feel alive and organic. Audiences weren't just watching jokes, they were participating in an evolving experience shaped by real-time creativity. That energy became one of the most defining elements of his career. What ultimately makes Robin Williams unforgettable is not just his talent, but the impossibility of fully recreating what he did. Many performers can imitate voices, study timing, or adopt similar comedic styles, but the unique combination of speed, empathy, intelligence, and emotional honesty that defined him remains unmatched. His performances felt less like routines and more like streams of consciousness guided by instinct and curiosity. Audiences connected with him because they sensed authenticity beneath the humor, a genuine person exploring ideas in real time rather than delivering rehearsed perfection. Even when playing iconic roles such as Mrs. Doubtfire, his personality shone through in subtle improvisations and unexpected moments that made characters feel alive. Over time, his legacy evolved beyond laughter into something more profound, a reminder that creativity can thrive in unpredictability and vulnerability. People continue to revisit his work, not just to laugh, but to experience the unique energy he brought to every interaction. The question that lingers is whether his brilliance came from chaos, or whether chaos simply followed where his mind naturally went. Either way, his impact endures because he left behind more than jokes. He left a feeling that anything could happen next. That sense of possibility is what keeps his presence alive long after the performance ends.